welcome to another episode of Dayspring Discussions. I am your host, Sean McGahee, and this is the show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. I am joined today by the ever so lovely Miss Lisa Locke McGahee. Say hello, Lisa.
Hello.
Alright guys, so if you're your first time tuning in, how this show goes is I'm going to run down some stories. Usually start off with some Marvel and DC, then we run through some Star Wars and Harry Potter if there is any, and then some miscellaneous stuff. Lisa and I are going to discuss them, and of course you guys chime back on social media or through the Gmail account and let us know what you think as well. Now I do have to apologize to Lisa a little bit in advance. Normally I try to cater the topics into something that she can, definitely have a good opinion on. There are a few stories this week though that I just felt like I had to talk about. She may not be able to put much input into them, but I just had to talk about it. So again, I start off, Lisa, I do apologize about that. So.
All right,
guys, so starting off with our Marvel news. According to Marvel.com, Academy Award nominated Angela Bassett has been cast in the upcoming Black Panther film. She is going to join the cast of Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, and Forrest Whitaker. Apparently, she's going to play the mother of T'Challa, aka the Black Panther. Now, Angela Bassett is an Academy Award-winning nominated actress. She got nominated for the movie What's Love Got to Do With It and won the Golden Globe for the same film as well as Best Actress. She's been over 80 acting credits on her IMDb page. Everyone knows her, right? Mm-hmm. So her joining the cast in an already kind of stacked cast of African-American actors and actresses, directed by Ryan Coogler, the guy who did Fruitvale Station and Creed. What do you think about this cast? This is becoming probably a very stacked cast of actors and actresses. I feel like Marvel is really trying to make a statement with this film.
I mean, I don't know. It's certainly shaping up to be quite the cast. I mean, I hope the movie can live up to that many stars,
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, last time we talked about, Beauty and the Beast. That's got how many stars in it as well. Mm-hmm. And, I think maybe they just want to be a part of this film as well. This, very African-American, centered superhero film in those respects. Much like, I feel like DC and Marvel, they've taken a lot of heat, of course, for the term whitewashing, I guess, or not having enough diversity or enough females and stuff. So now they're taking the road to correcting that, or trying to at least correct the public perception of them with films such as Black Panther having a black director, a black cast. Wonder Woman, you got a female director. Captain Marvel, you get a female director. Just overall, just trying to diversify their superhero profile a little bit. But Angela Bassett joining the cast, of course, phenomenal actress. What's your favorite film that she's in, you think?
Oh God, I have no idea. She's good in everything she's in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I could pick a
it's weird. The first film I think of when I think of her is How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
Me too. That's the first one I think about too.
But then what's that one where she was in Whitney Houston? Waiting to Exhale.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was a good one too. There's another one she did. I forget what it was. But yeah, great actress. Of course, joining this great cast. I'm curious how, being the mother of the Black Panther, how she's going to fit. Because remember, back in Civil War, of course, T'Challa's father is dead. Okay? So you got to think of it as her and that guy, were married. And I'm sure she seems like she's going to probably have a strong influence, not only in T'Challa, but maybe just play a very strong female role. Raising a hero like the Black Panther, of course, you got to have a strong female behind it. And, of course, being the queen of a powerful nation, I think she's going to be badass in this film.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know how big her role is going to be. I mean, we don't really know what the movie's going to be about yet.
You think it could be more like a Renee Zellweger in Thor, perhaps, even?
I don't. Renee who?
Not Zellweger, Renee Russo.
Right. Perhaps.
So many Renees.
Perhaps. I mean, I don't know. I will see. I mean, I think it's shaping up to it looks like it's going to be good. So
yeah, I'm curious to see. I mean, honestly, I want to see the trailer. Like, give me the first trailer. Mm-hmm. But see, it doesn't come out till February 2018. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious what it's going to be about.
Yeah, they haven't started filming yet. They still have many other films to come before they get to this one. But I think it'll be interesting. I'm getting very hopeful about this, and I know that some younger people or people who were introduced to Black Panther in Civil War are becoming more and more curious about this film as well.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, he was cool in that movie, so.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, sticking with the Marvel news, Marvel.com actually had a couple other announcements. So this one is in regards to the Inhumans. Now, Marvel Studios, when they did that big old film slate several years back, they had all the press come and they laid out their plans for the next several years, where they announced Captain America's Civil War, they announced Avengers Infinity War, and beyond. And at the very end of it, they had the Inhumans movie. Well, it's been pretty shaky since then. The Inhumans have been featured on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the ABC show. Kevin Feige went and said that the film for the Inhumans has been put off indefinitely, and then they weren't even going to think about it. Well, now they've announced they are going to do an Inhumans TV series, actually. Now, it's going to have no relation to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., allegedly, because they were featured on the show, but I guess it has nothing to do with it. But they're going to start off, the first 2 episodes are actually going to be shot on an IMAX camera, and they're going to show them in IMAX screens, actually. Then they're going to go and do about 8 episodes, I think, on TV, on ABC, kind of make it I'm pretty sure it's going to be an ongoing series, but much shorter compared to normal primetime TV as well. That's going to take place in September 2017. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Inhumans were created in 1965 by Stanley and Jack Kirby, appeared in Fantastic Four. They are a race of superhumans with diverse and singularly unique powers. Now, as I said before, they were featured in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They've also been featured highly in current Marvel comics. There's a current crossover that's going to be popping up called the Inhumans versus X-Men, mainly because they're very similar to the X-Men, where they don't, get their powers by accident. They're, inherit them genetically as well. But Marvel's Inhumans set to show up on IMAX screens September 2017, and as well on TV too. So this kind of brings up some feelings for me, okay? So in regards to the comic books, as we all know, Marvel Studios does not have the rights to X-Men films, okay? And in doing so, it seems like the Inhumans in the comic books, they have been putting them front and center in front of the X-Men. There's a storyline called Death of X, where the Terrigen Mist that gives the Inhumans their powers is pretty much going around and killing mutants, exactly. So I feel like because Marvel Studios does not have the rights to X-Men, they're putting X-Men on the back burner and putting Humans as kind of their current X-Men, I guess you could say, right? They're doing, putting them front and center in the comic books over Marvel's Mighty Mutants. And as a longtime X-Men fan, it kind of hurts me a little bit because I've been the one, I could never get into Humans, okay? I remember reading Fantastic Four and their first introduction, and the characters seem interesting. So what's kind of interesting about them is their own unique personality. So they're an intergalactic kind of group. At one point, they lived on the moon, okay? And their leader is Black Bolt, who is a guy who never talks. Because if he does talk, he lets out a sonic boom so powerful it can destroy a mountain. So you have a lead character that never talks as well. So these guys they're powerful, but they've always been on the back burner. I can see why they want to bring them forward. Now, in regards to the movies or other entertainment, and with that, they were set to have be in their own movie in Marvel's. I think it was Phase 4, but Kevin Feige again said it wouldn't work out, so they pulled them out. And then they've been featured heavily on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, that could have to do with the rift between Marvel's film department and their TV department, because earlier this year, I think it was, perhaps, that there was a divide. Ike Perlmutter, who was the head of Marvel in general, Kevin Feige used to have to report to him. And what happened was, I guess they had a lot of disagreements throughout the years, and once Disney bought Marvel, Kevin Feige no longer had to report to Ike Perlmutter. He reported directly to Bob Iger of Disney, and that kind of cut out a little bit of the middleman as well. So again, having to deal with the Inhumans, they were already on a TV show, so then I can see why they pulled back from doing Inhumans on in the films, so to speak. And again, I guess it just seems for me like a little bit more of that rift between the TV and the film department, even though they're all supposed to be one shared universe, along with the Netflix series as well. But also the Inhumans on TV, because there have been talks about having an X-Men TV show for years as well, live action, not just animated. And I feel like this is kind of Marvel's way of solving that problem. But as a longtime X-Men fan, I don't like it because I feel like they're shoving X-Men aside just because they don't have the rights to them. They're getting the shaft in the comic books. I've been keeping up with that, and I feel like they are getting the shaft as far as storylines and writing and stuff like that. So to me, I'm not too happy about it, but not to criticize the Inhumans, because I think they can be very intriguing. I was at the library earlier, and I saw a big old book. It's Inhumans. Who is it written by? I can't remember what it is. It's one of the more, what I've heard is one of the better current Inhuman runs. So I picked it up just to kind of check it out. But otherwise, like I said, Inhuman's not really my thing, but I'm willing to give it a chance. I've been babbling, Lisa.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah, nothing to say at all. I mean, you don't really know anything about Inhumans, right? Like,
I mean, all I know about Inhumans is what Schneps has said in Heroes, like on Collider Heroes. That's the only thing I've ever even heard of Inhumans.
Yeah.
I mean, and I felt like I don't really know what I'm going to answer a question about because you talked about like 12 different things.
Well, you know,
little soliloquy you had going on right there.
Okay, so in regards to, say, the description of the characters, they very seem X-Men-like, correct?
I mean, I don't really know, because you said that they're like X-Men and that it's genetic, but then you said something about they get their power from some kind of
Terrigen mist, okay? It's complicated. Honestly, I'm not 100% on it either. But there's this thing called Terrigen mist. It's almost like a smoke or a cloud or something like that has gone out and changes people to Inhumans. And then, of course, for that was way back when. And then, of course, they have grown up and, you know, they're genetically, I don't know.
Modified.
Yes, exactly.
But now they pass on the traits, or that mist continues to make more?
Both.
Okay, I know.
I know it's kind of, but anyway, the comics have taken this as an excuse to put the Inhumans against the X-Men.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You don't have to say it again.
Exactly. So I'm just a little upset because I feel like just because they don't have the rights to the X-Men, they're pushing the X-Men aside, who've been very good to Marvel. I mean, in the 90s, it was all about the X-Men. The X movies, you know, are awesome too.
Well, maybe it's time for something new. Mister.
Maybe, and I totally get it, but I think they're, you know... Again,
you're just sad because you like the X-Men.
Yes, okay, I'll give you that. I'm just saying, to me, the X-Men are more interesting. Like I said, I tried to get Inhumans. I never could. The X-Men have always been a love of mine. So, to me, it's a little... But it's kind of interesting, though, in regards to this TV show... that, you know, they're going to shoot it in IMAX, show it in IMAX.
I think it's kind of weird. I don't think it's going to get them what they want out of it.
Well, they're kind of kooky a little bit because, again, they live on the moon. They, you know, their leader never talks, and their main character. And then I forget what the dog's name is, but the dog is like really weird too. It's like it's hilarious.
I just don't see them getting their money's worth for this. Like shooting something in IMAX is not cheap. And then showing it on IMAX screens is also not going to be cheap. I just don't think they're going to get people to see it in the numbers that they want to make this worth their while.
To me, it has to do. Okay, so like I said, for a season or two, you know, I don't watch Shield. I see maybe 3 episodes of Agents of Shield, 4 episodes, and each one of them has not held my interest at all. But Agents of Shield has become one of those shows that it's not about the agent anymore. Like they focused on the Inhumans, I know, for like 2 seasons, and now they're focusing on Ghost Rider, which is horrible. But the fact is, I mean, I'm not trying to say anything, I guess, about ABC, but you can't put these characters, especially Ghost Rider is a dark character, and they're putting this character on ABC, you know? It doesn't fit with the characters. Now, if you were to tell me the Inhumans show was going on like, even like FX or, you know, AMC or something like that, where they could do, you know, test the boundaries a little bit more. But with this is going to be, you know, not, I think, a good, just based on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I don't see it being a good fit. I don't see it, you know, being the quality that people who are fans of Inhumans would like. So.
I agree.
Okay. All right, well, let's move on from there then. 20th Century Fox has announced, according to Deadline and multiple other sources, that they have found a new director for their Deadpool sequel. It's going to be John Wick co-director David Litch. Now, Litch reportedly got this job after a meeting with the star Ryan Reynolds, who is also the producer of the film, and it went very well. So after that, they were totally convinced, and now he is the official director on Deadpool 2 after Tim Miller left the project due to creative differences with Ryan Reynolds. Now, this is going to be Litch's third film he directed. The first one was John Wick that he co-directed. And he's got another one coming out, The Coldest City, which is scheduled for July 28th next year. Now, the original Deadpool that came out earlier this year earned $782 million off a $58 million budget and is the highest grossing rated R movie of all time, but also the highest grossing X-Men film out of all the franchise as well. Deadpool 2 is scheduled for release January 2nd, 2018, and it's said that Fox is also looking right now to set up, they're already thinking about Deadpool 3, and they're already looking for a different director for the third X-Men film. Now, I know you haven't seen John Wick yet. It's one of those films that, you say you want to see, but I know once you're going to get 15 minutes in, see the
Can we just skip over them doing the puppy thing?
We can, I guess, but it's you.
I know it happens though.
Well, but that's the thing. It's like you in John Wick when you see the bad guys kill the puppy. Okay, spoiler if you haven't seen the movie. That's what fills him with rage, but also fills you with rage. So it kind of makes you justify all this violence and killing that he does throughout the whole film. You got to feel that burning, rage just like he does, and be like, okay, yeah, he blew 50 guys' heads off. That's okay because they killed the puppy. So.
It's totally okay.
But knowing what kind of film John Wick is,
I think it sounds like a good match.
Yeah, because I think what's his name, Lit, he doesn't have a lot of directing experience, but he was a veteran stuntman many years, and he's also been a second unit director on several films as well. So one thing I loved about John Wick was, I want to say the violence, but it's not the violence. It's the way it was shot and choreographed as well. And I think it worked really well. So I think this director is a great fit. The only thing, of course, is going to be that comedy angle. But with Ryan Reynolds, let's be honest.
Ryan Reynolds really is the one.
He does what he does.
Yeah.
So as long as Litch focuses on the action and the cinematography of it all,
coordinating everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. I think Ryan Reynolds is gonna bring what he does, and I think it'll all be fine. It's I'm curious about this film, because I guess Ryan Reynolds came out and said that towards the end in the post production of Deadpool, him and Tim Miller were already having arguments, actually, but they kept it under wraps for so long to help protect the film. And now, after Tim Miller has left the sequel, now it's coming out that Ryan Reynolds is talking we had actually quite a few disagreements in the post production of Deadpool, but we put it aside for the good of the movie. So people are they said they were going to be doing a sequel together, and now they just suddenly disagreed. No, the disagreements have been going on for a while. They just, I think, got to that tipping point where they realized they couldn't continue their relationship. What exactly it is, I don't know, because originally they were talking about, they were fighting over the casting of Cable. That wasn't it. It might have been the tipping point, but there's more to their feud than that. So David Litch taking over. We'll just have to wait and see how he does. So, cool. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up the Marvel section of the show. We're going to move on to DC. And before we get into the actual show part of that, I just want to talk briefly. Next week is the big CW crossover 4-part episode. That's right. They're starting to put out promotional material. I'm sure you've seen pictures and commercials. And they just started putting out a 4-piece banner. So what it is the 4 DC CW shows, Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, DC's Legends Tomorrow. They're going to have a 4-part crossover throughout all that. So they're going to start Monday, and it's going to continue Thursday, and then Wednesday, and then Thursday. Did I say Thursday twice?
You said Thursday.
There we go. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, but yeah, I'm super excited about this just because it has never happened in the history of TV. You have 4 shows. Granted, they're kind of all, spinning out of each other, but it's, 4 shows together, coming together for one huge crossover, especially in the superhero realm. And I've said on this show before, I'm enjoying so much more of what DC is doing on TV than what they are doing in their films. So for this, it gets me really excited. In regards to the shows, if you're not caught up yet, do yourself a favor and catch up. Arrow is back, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Season 4 of Arrow was complete crap, but Season 5 has come back with a vengeance. So much that of all 4 shows, it's my number 1 show. The Flash for the last 2 seasons has been my number 1 show to watch over Arrow, but now, nope. I'm sorry. Flash is kind of puttering off a bit. It's steady, but Arrow is super good right now. Flash, right now Flash is got a contender with Supergirl for my number 2 show of the 4. Supergirl's last week's episode was awesome. It had a lot to do with her sister, Alex, and kind of her realization that she might be gay, bisexual. She's not sure actually, but it wasn't like one of those things where like automatic flip. Okay, I'm gay and I'm going to be with this person or whatever. It wasn't like that at all. Throughout the entire episode, she was struggling with it, and at the end of the episode, she was still struggling with it. And the person that brought out these feelings with her kind of rejected her a little bit, and it felt real in terms of Of course, I have no idea what it's like, but it felt like it was more real to the actual experience of what it would have been like for someone in that position. So that's really interesting. I'm really looking forward to the 4-part crossover. And if you guys have not checked it out, catch up on Arrow, catch up on Flash, catch up on Supergirl. You can probably skip DC's Legend of Tomorrow. But in any event, I'm super excited about. So, nothing to add, right? Okay, there we go. All right, so moving on to more DC news that, again, Lisa will probably have nothing to add to. Warner Brothers Animation and DC Entertainment has released the first official trailer for their next animated movie, Justice League Dark. Now, along with it, they've also released the rating for the direct-to-DVD and Blu-ray movie, and it's going to be rated R, which was what their last film was, Batman the Killing Joke. Now, the film is going to be directed by DC Animation vet Jay Oliva, I think that's how you say it. And it's also going to see Matt Ryan reprise his role as John Constantine. Now, Matt Ryan was a gentleman who did the role of Constantine for the NBC Constantine TV series they had a few years ago. It only had 1 season and then it was canceled, but we've seen Matt Ryan pop up again on Arrow, revising his role as Constantine, and now he's going to be doing the voice of Constantine for this animated movie as well. Now, Jason O'Mara, who has been doing the Batman voice for the last couple years in the DC animated stuff, is going to come back as well. We got Jerry O'Connell coming back as Superman, and Rosario Dawson as Wonder Woman, who I think is doing a fabulous job as Wonder Woman as well. Now, this is all kind of preliminary, because one thing I've noticed with the DC animated movies, and especially their Justice League movies, is I feel like they're all testing grounds, okay? You had the Flash Paradox film, which is really the first centered Flash thing they did, and then you got the Flash. You got an Aquaman movie, and then an animated wise, and then they greenlit an Aquaman movie. You had the Justice League film, and then they talk about the so I feel like, and then now, as they said back in October, Doug Liman is set to direct a live-action Justice League Dark film. So again, I feel like DC is doing all these test grounds with their animated stuff to see how people respond, and then they use that as a springboard for their live-action stuff, which is kind of smart, in my opinion, I think, too. But
just because you like the animated stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Again, I like the animated stuff better than I like the theatrical stuff. I'm sorry, but they're just doing it so well. Especially the Batman stuff. I'm not a huge Batman guy, but the last couple of Batman movies have been pretty good, the animated stuff. It was weird. The Killing Joke, they've all got it's like a DC animated shared universe as well. They have a couple Justice League movies and a couple Batman films. Jason O'Mara does the voice of Batman for all of them, so it makes you feel like they're all, shared universe, but the Batman and the Justice League are kind of separate. The Killing Joke was the last one, but it wasn't a part of that same continuity. Like you had, 3 Batman films? Yeah, 3 Batman films that all kind of worked together, and then the Killing Joke wasn't part of it. Now, at the end of the last one, Bad Blood, they teased Batgirl at the end of it, because each animated movie kind of teases the next one. So you saw Batgirl at the end of Bad Blood, which, gave you the idea of Killing Joke. But then Killing Joke had nothing to do with the continuity of what the animated movies were. So, but at the end of the last Justice League movie, they did tease Justice League Dark, so we knew it was coming. We got the first trailer. You saw the trailer. I know you don't care at all, but what did you think of it just from an outsider's perspective?
I mean, I thought it looked interesting. I mean, it's not something it didn't make me want to see it, but I don't think that I'm the target audience either. But I mean, I thought it looked interesting. Yeah. It definitely looked dark.
Yeah, it looked very different. Like I said, you have the magic guy. You have Zatanna, you have Swamp Thing, you have John Constantine, and you saw the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie, right? Too.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's really front and center leading Justice League Dark from what I remember. Again, I've read a few Justice League Dark things, but I'm not heavy into them. I know the characters, Constantine, Deadman, Zatanna. I'm familiar with all them, but them as a team in that title book, I'm not too familiar. But it is, like I said, a different side of the DC universe than what we're used to, as opposed to, aliens and mutants and stuff like that. This is, demonics and stuff like that. Almost like a, Doctor Strange. They deal with the magic and the mystic arts and stuff like that. So maybe they might, of course, take a book from Marvel's Doctor Strange and for the live action one and see how that goes. But in any event, I'm excited for it because I've been enjoying the animated world. So
yeah, no, I mean, I thought it looked all right.
Cool. All right, so jumping off of DC, guys, we're going to jump into the wide world of Star Wars. Before I get into the stories, I'm going to ask Lisa to give us an update on Star Wars Catalyst. Of course, you're going through it yet. How far have you got?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm listening to it on Audible, so I'm not 100%
You don't know what chapter you're on or anything like that?
No, well, no, not really. I don't really pay attention.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see if I can see how much time is left based on how much time I've
Okay. Well, while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and say that I am totally frustrated. Rogue One tickets have not gone on sale yet. It was announced on Sunday that they were probably going to go on sale yesterday for the UK and the Netherlands. Now they do. The movie is released in the UK, I think, 2 days before here. So I'm expecting maybe tickets to go on sale today or tomorrow. I already checked the website today and no tickets have gone on sale. But I am dying to get some Rogue One tickets. I mean, come on, people. Release it already, Disney. Jeez. Okay, back to Lisa.
So I'm about 2/3 of the way through Catalyst. So I know you are chomping at the bit to read this because of what Christian keeps talking about.
Yeah, Christian Harloff on Jedi Council loves it. He said it's his #1 favorite new canon book. He says it's a must-read before you see the movie. And, people on Twitter have been raving about it, too.
So I agree with him thus far that it's a must-read before you see this movie.
Okay.
However, I think you are going to be bored.
Really?
Yes. I do not think you're going to like it.
So it's going to be because I didn't like Tarkin because it was a little boring.
Yeah,
so.
This one I think is more boring than Tarkin. And I like Tarkin, but I don't like this one even. I like Tarkin better than I like this one so far. I feel like this one is a lot of technical jargon. The main character is a scientist. There's a lot of research going on. It's a lot of, people manipulating people behind the scenes.
Okay, a lot of political
There's no action. I mean, so far there's there's nothing.
Is there a lot of dialogue? I love reading dialogue.
There is a lot of dialogue, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of people talking to each other, but it's a lot of relationships, scientific babble, research, planning. I don't think you're gonna like it.
Okay.
I mean, I think that the information it's giving is really important to set up what's happening in Rogue One. But I don't think you're gonna like this book. I think it's gonna be hard for you to get through it if you're actually reading it.
Okay.
I feel like if I was physically reading this book in my hand, that I would not have gotten as far as I have. But the fact that I'm listening to it, as I'm driving, I feel like that's the only reason I'm still reading through. I definitely would not say it's my favorite one so far.
Oh, really? Okay.
No way.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Not even close.
I mean, as I said, I'm interested in just to help it set up the characters.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that's interesting because the whole story focuses on Jyn Erso's mom and dad and her as her birth and as a child, and the people who are making the Death Star. This whole book is basically about the creation of the Death Star.
I heard it's really good connective tissue between Clone Wars prequel stuff to the new stuff as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it takes place right after the Empire Star, after. Basically, the beginning of this book is the beginning of the Empire.
Well, this is because I heard it has Jyn Erso's actual birth, right?
Yeah.
So she was born probably before the Clone Wars, wasn't she?
Oh no.
Or during the Clone Wars?
No, right toward the end.
Wait, no, because Episode 3 and Episode 4 are 20 years apart. Rogue One takes place Rogue One takes place right before that. So, and Jyn Erso's not like 20 years old in this, is she? So
I think she should be.
Really?
Yeah.
So
she is born right at the very beginning of this book.
So she's like Luke and Leia age then.
Yeah.
Why is everyone born around that time? Ezra's the exact same age.
Yeah, like literally in this book, right around the time of her birth is Empire Day. Like,
really?
Is the birth of the Empire.
My gosh, really? Are they They're taking that cue from Rebels, man? Because Ezra's the exact same age.
I'm not saying she was born on Empire Day, but I'm saying she's born I think she's born just before it. Because she's a little older than that.
Of course, Felicity Jones looks older than 20 years old. Of course, she can still play it, but I figured she was born during like the Clone Wars or something like that.
No, I mean this book starts just before the Empire becomes the Empire.
Okay.
But the whole book is about the creation of the Death Star.
Okay.
Like that is the plot of this book.
Yeah.
Is making the Death Star.
Uh-huh.
And it's how all the different people, the people who are manipulating, who are making it happen, all the behind the scenes. It's about Tarkin becoming Tarkin and all the... I mean, Tarkin's not in it a ton, but he ultimately explains how he becomes the one in charge of the Death Star. It's about the main guy who kind of pulled all the strings to get it made. It's about the Ursos and their scientific research trying to get the weapon and like make the weapon for the Death Star. And there's talk of the Jedi. There's talk of... There's a lot in here about kyber crystals.
Yeah.
A lot about kyber crystals.
I heard about that.
Like, a lot about kyber crystals.
The international trailer that came out a few weeks ago, I know you didn't see it. I didn't want to watch it, but, I was tempted, so I just watched the damn thing. But then there's a scene with Jen and her mom where she puts a kyber crystal around her neck, actually.
Well, that's what her dad studies.
Yeah.
That's
why they want him, because
he studies kyber crystals.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they are trying to... But he is a pacifist.
Okay.
So he doesn't want to be involved in creating a weapon. So it's about the guy who's trying to get him to create the weapon without him knowing that he's creating a weapon.
Oh.
Like, they're trying to get him to do it, but they know if they tell him that's what he's doing, he won't do it.
He's going to stop, exactly.
So it's...
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm about 2/3 of the way through. Like I said, I think it's really good information. I'm glad that I'm listening to it and reading it before the movie comes out. But I think you're going to be super bored.
All right. Well, I'm probably going to tough my way through it just for the sake of the film.
I think you should listen to it.
I'm waiting for you to finish it so I can listen to it. So, I will listen to it. I'll take a week off from listening to all my other podcasts I listen to in the car, so I can listen to that and get through it. So, but anyway, so moving into the official Star Wars news, StarWars.com has reported that Game of Thrones and Terminator Genisys star Emily Clarke has joined the cast of the upcoming Han Solo spinoff film. It hasn't been revealed who is she going to play yet, but she joins the cast of Alden Ehrenreich and Donald Glover. The film is going to be directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and it's going to hit the summer of 2018. Now, being a huge fan of Game of Thrones that you are, Lisa, of course, I'm sure you're ecstatic. No, I know you haven't seen Terminator. I know you don't like Game of Thrones.
Nope.
So you're really not familiar with her body of work.
Nope.
So let me take this one a little bit here and say that, cool. Terminator Genisys, not the best film, but I liked her as Sarah Connor in it. Whatever they do with the Terminator franchise, I'd like to see Emilia Clarke continue as Sarah Connor, because I thought she has that real strong female presence, a different way that she does in Game of Thrones. But overall, I like her in both. Her joining this cast is going to be great. I feel like first thing I thought was Zoe Saldana has a foe in the title match for Queen of Sci-Fi, because you have Zoe Saldana's in Guardians of the Galaxy, Avatar, Star Trek. Okay, 3 big sci-fi fantasy franchises, and now you have Emilia Clarke coming in here. She's gonna be in Game of Thrones. She's in Terminator, and now she's coming in with the Star Wars. It's gonna be a fight. Let's see these two duke it out. Let's do it. Come on, call the place. I'll bring the mud. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, guys. So moving on from there, USA Today has revealed that Darth Maul is getting his own limited series. So he's going to get a limited Marvel run in the fashion of other Star Wars characters that have gotten their own miniseries, such as Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Lando, Han Solo, and the Obi-Wan and Anakin limited series. Now, this one's going to take place before the events of Episode 1, where we saw Maul get cut in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi. The series is going to show part of Maul's origin as he trains under Darth Sidious. However, he is forbidden from engaging the Jedi in combat, so instead, he takes out his frustration on the dark underworld of the galaxy. But Maul will run into a young Jedi Padawan who he both wants to test his own powers against, as well as potentially turn him to the dark side. The series is set to come out early 2017. Lisa, I know you've kind of fallen off from the comic books a little bit.
I never really fell into that.
Well, you started off pretty good because you were reading them, you know. Mm-hmm. You read the Star Wars.
Well, now there's all these books, and I'd rather read them.
See, that's where our forte is. I have been keeping up with all the comics. I keep up with the regular Star Wars series, which is still my favorite. I'm actually enjoying the Poe Dameron one, too. That's actually pretty good as well. But the Darth Maul comic, given what you know... I forgot to ask. Did you finish Season 4 yet of Clone Wars?
I don't know if I'm done with
the very last part.
I don't pay attention what season it is. It just goes to the next one.
The very last part was when
the last one I saw came out. The last one I saw was Ventress and the witches and...
Oh, they got shot there. Yeah, okay. You're almost there. You're almost to the point where Maul is coming back. Because the last two...
No, I saw Maul. He has, like, spidery legs.
Spider, okay. Did he get to the episode where he confronted Obi-Wan and then he
he and Obi-Wan and Ventress and they were fighting. I saw that.
That was the end of Season 4.
Okay, then I've seen that one.
Okay, cool. Yes. So there we go.
Because like he and Ventress were actually working together.
Yes, exactly.
Against Maul and Savage.
Yes, exactly. And,
yeah.
And oh my God, you're getting to Season 5 now. You're in Season 5 now. Oh, it's the best season, especially the last two story arcs there. Mm-hmm. So great. But you know, given now that you know how he comes back, what he's like, and also what he's like in Rebels as well.
He's crazy pants.
Exactly. So are you interested in this series at all? Or?
Yeah, it is interesting. I can't get into comics. Like, I need more words. Comics are distracting to me. All of the pictures and the frames, it's hard for me. I am not a visual learner, okay? Like, if you've ever taken those tests that tell you if you're a visual learner or...
I'm a visual.
I am not the visual learner. I am a read-write learner. Like, I need words. So when I read comics, I feel like I only get a bit of the story because I can't focus on the pictures long enough to get what the pictures are trying to tell me.
Back in the day, they used to have, like, thought bubbles as well. So they used to give me like twice as many words, but they did away with the thought bubbles, which I kind of miss personally.
Yeah, well, I mean, that'll probably help me because that's the thing. Like when I read a comic, I tend to just read the words and not really pay attention to the art, and then I'm missing things in the story because I'm not getting what I'm supposed to be getting out of the pictures. That's why I need books.
Okay, see, that's why that's coming
real
from a We talk about comics all the time about this show, and you got to throw out that slander. Come on now. As a person who's read comic books his whole life, okay, granted, I'll agree, you don't get as much out of them as you do from books, but again, the art is, like, I can't read a comic that I don't like the art, too. I can't get into it, really. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, a lot of times I'm reading X-Men, and if I can't get into the art, I can't read the book as well, too, so... but yeah, so Darth Maul, I'm a little disappointed though because now that we know, of course I finished the Clone Wars, so where we saw him in Clone Wars or where he finished in Son of Dathomir is, another, it was an unfinished Clone Wars episode that they turned into a comic, so it's still part of the continuity, so where I saw him end from there, and then next time we see him is in Rebels at the end of Season 2, I would much rather see that story than another story about him before Episode 1. Mm-hmm. Now, however, I am curious a little bit about his origin, but I know we kind of get what his origin is based on what we saw in Season 3 of the Clone Wars, where we saw, Ventress go and recruit someone else from the same clan. Yeah. So you kind of saw how Sidious picked him up, in the same fashion as well. And there also was a limited series back when Dark Horse had the rights to Star Wars called Darth Maul. I don't think it was a subtitle at all, where Sidious sent Darth Maul before the events of Episode 1 to take out the criminal organization, the Black Sun, to kind of help clear the path so Sidious could, work a lot easier as well. So we've already seen a limited, Darth Maul pre-Episode 1 series. as much as I would, want to see him, kick ass, I'd much rather see that part between Clone Wars and Rebels and see how he got on that planet where he meets Ezra and Kanan and stuff like that. So.
Well, maybe that'll be next.
Maybe. I think it's going to be similar to when it comes, like, say, the films. Like Star Wars Episode 8, notice we haven't gotten much in between that, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens backstory or whatever. I feel like once we get Episode 8 and they tell us what happened, then they're going to go back with the books and the comics and all that and show us what all happened there. So I feel like it's going to be the same thing with that time period with Maul. Once we realize where he was, then they'll go back and show us, maybe. So, all right, guys. So, stepping out of Star Wars, we do have a little bit of a cleanup to do in regards to Harry Potter news, because Lisa and I were going to do a bigger review of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. However, stuff didn't happen that way, so we're going to do a little mini review right now. Lisa and I went and saw the film Thursday night or Friday night?
Thursday.
It was Thursday night. Yes. Okay. So, hopefully by now you guys have seen it. We're going to go full spoilers. So, if you haven't seen the movie, pause us, go see it for, 2.5 hours, then come right back and listen to us. Okay. So, as the Harry Potter expert or Wizarding World expert in the household, Lisa, give us how you thought about it first as a film and then as a continuation of Harry Potter myth.
So, I thought it was a good film. I definitely feel like if you're interested in taking small children to see it, it's not like the first, second, third Harry Potter films. This is more the tone of it and the I guess, for lack of a better word, the scariness of it is more along the lines of Deathly Hallows. It's actually, I think, a little bit darker than Deathly Hallows.
I don't know.
I wouldn't necessarily take a small child to see it. But I thought as a film overall, I thought it was good. I mean, as a continuation of the Harry Potter lore, I loved it. As somebody who has read all these books a million times, I loved all the magical creatures. I loved meeting these new characters. I loved seeing the Wizarding World in the United States. So I think like all of the little like things that they gave us as Harry Potter fans, like as actual like avid book fans of the books, of the worlds, of Pottermore, of all of that, like I think this movie was a nod to us, like to all of us, like hardcore Harry Potter fans. As a film, I felt like it was two films shoved together.
Okay.
Like, it seemed to me like it was a film about Newt and Fantastic Beasts, kind of overlaid and mushed together with a film about the rise of Grindelwald. So I think it seemed to me kind of disjointed. Like, I thought it was interesting the way that they were trying to weave Newt into this, U.S. Grindelwald story.
The Grindelwald story, yeah.
And so, I mean, I get what they were trying to do, but the whole time, every time we were in a scene with the beasts, like with all the magical creatures, I was like, wow, these are really cool. And then I was like, when are we going to get back to the story of this movie? Yeah,
it was like a distraction from it.
Yeah, like to me, it just seemed like it was candy, like eye candy for you, because so that is the only thing I didn't like about it. I really hope the subsequent films are just going to dig right into the Grindelwald, to bringing Dumbledore into the story, to learning about the rise of Grindelwald and what's happening in the Wizarding world all over the world. So as opposed to like the first movies, Harry Potter films being about Voldemort, I feel like these ones are going to be, I'm hoping they're going to be about Grindelwald. Mm-hmm. So I kind of hope that the subsequent films, I guess I'm assuming Newt is still going to be a part of them, but I'm hoping that his magical creatures, if they're in it, that they are more relevant to what's happening in the story, like that they play a part in the story a little bit more feasibly than they did in this one. That's only. I just like the magical creatures in this one were just kind of. I thought, sure they were part of the story, and that the story was about magical creatures being released and people thinking that I can't remember what it's called, that magical outburst thing. People thinking that was a creature as opposed to a magical.
It starts with an O. What is it? Obscurity?
Oh, obscurus. Yeah.
Obscurus, yes.
So people, I get that people thought that was a creature, and that's why his creatures fit at all into this story. But, it just seemed like every time he was, trying to catch the Niffler. Sure, it was cute as hell. But, zero relevance to the overarching story.
It was kind of a break. It was comic relief.
Right, it was. But it, and just like the whole time when he went into the suitcase and he was showing Kowalski all his magical creatures. Sure, it was really cool, but not at all relevant to the Grindelwald, to the what's happening in the wizarding community story. So, like, for me, it just kind of felt like it was two movies pushed together. Okay. I mean, I really liked it. I really did. But I'm saying that as a, like, hardcore Harry Potter fan.
Okay. Well, just to give you a little update as a guy who, of course, keeps up with the news and stuff like that, they've talked to David Yates, and he's talked about, sequential films and, more the sequels and stuff like that. And they've already said, first off, Newt in the sequel, he said he's gonna be in the films, but he's gonna take a back seat because they are gonna focus on the Grindelwald story.
See, I'm so good
from what I'm told about that. Yes, and of course they talked about how they are gonna go to different locations. Mm-hmm. They're gonna go back to the UK. They're gonna go to Paris as well as stay in the US.
Well, Grindelwald isn't British either.
Yeah,
he's I don't think he was British. I think he was from some other country.
Okay. I don't know. But one thing I thought we were doing, because, before I saw the film, they were talking about the sequel, and they were talking about Grindelwald and Dumbledore and telling that classic tale.
I can't
But, I always thought, because in this one, in the beginning, Grindelwald is already, a criminal, So I feel like they were going to tell the story in the sequels about how him and Albus met.
They would have already met.
How they were good. Yeah, exactly. How they became friends, and then how they got split apart. In this one, it seems like he's already a criminal, so they're already split apart.
Well, of course they are. Dumbledore's already a professor at Hogwarts.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought they were going to go back and tell that story. So to me, I feel like the first half of the story, of that story at least, they can't tell unless they go back and do flashbacks.
Well, that's what I was thinking they might do, is that in the story where they talk about where they're going along and showing you Grindelwald's progress, I was thinking it would probably be flashbacks. Unless they do one of the films in this as a prequel.
Oh, could be.
They don't necessarily have to be in sequence.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I think it's obviously going to be about Grindelwald and Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Now, and well, it's like, when you were saying how, like, a week before it came out, they announced that they had cast Johnny Depp for the next one, and we were like, and then in this one when they showed him, I was like, oh, I wonder why they announced it.
Yeah, exactly. They did it because as soon as that those first couple of screens or preview screens came out, people were going to start talking about it and letting the cat out of the bag. Mm-hmm. So Warner Brothers said, just let the cat out of the bag right out of the get-go, so that way it wouldn't be like a scoop for anybody really. So. Overall, for me, for a film, I enjoyed it. Out of the Harry Potter lore, it wasn't my favorite, but I definitely... One thing I liked about it, I think I said this to you as well, I liked how, mainly in the Harry Potter movies, we were at Hogwarts most of the time, okay? This one, we got out to the actual wizarding community. Granted, of course, it was across the sea, and, we got to see a whole new side of the wizarding world, but also we got to see actual people out doing their adults, out there doing their normal wizarding jobs and stuff like that. So again, it's I got what I wanted out of it, which was to expand the lore and the mythology of the wizarding world. Overall, I really enjoyed it. Now, for this film, I think you're looking at, you have like kind of 6 main characters. Okay, so starting off, Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander.
I thought he was awesome.
He did a great job. I really liked it. The way he played it, of course, he's a good actor, of course, so I wasn't expecting anything less than good stuff there. I'm curious, again, now that they've kind of said that he is going to take a back seat, I'm wondering how far of a back seat he's going to take, really.
I don't know.
I don't know, because you see him at the end.
He was pretty useful in this film
to the... I think he's going to be...
To the Ministry, not the Ministry.
I think he's going to be, Dumbledore's right-hand man. He's going to help Dumbledore take down Grindelwald, I think, at the end of it all. So, the main female lead, I don't know, what was the character's name?
I don't even remember. Oh, Tina.
Tina, okay. You said you weren't a big fan of hers.
No, I thought she was very awkward. I don't know, like the way that she walked was kind of weird.
I think she's an awkward character in general, though.
I know, maybe she was playing it just because. I don't know. I wasn't overly impressed with her interpretation of the character. It's not her. I don't know that character. It's
she seems like the type of character. Again, she's wants,
super uptight.
She wants to do good, but she's kind of almost a little clumsy, maybe, or just. Not very confident in herself.
Yeah.
So she's looking at every opportunity to impress, the bigwigs and step up the ladder, really. Wasn't a huge fan, but I think she was okay.
Yeah.
What's it, Dan Fogel as, what's his name? The Nomage.
Oh, I loved him.
Yes.
Kowalski. He was awesome.
Yes, he did a great job.
He was perfect. It was perfect to see, like, you know, like a Muggle's interpretation of, like, finding the magical.
This is America, okay? We say no magic.
Okay, whatever. It was just, I thought that was really cool. It's just seeing him be like, wow,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Get him to soak it all in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, apparently he's probably going to, I think they said he's going to be in future films.
I hope so.
I'm curious to see what they do with him.
Well, I hope that he and that girl get married.
Well, moving on to that, she was actually probably out of them one of my favorite characters.
I loved her. Me too. I loved her. She played it so well. And, you know, did they ever talk in the books about wizards having, like, you know, the mind reading and stuff like that? Legilimens. I mean, Legilimens, yeah, it's in the books.
Okay.
Yeah, like, that's in the books because that's what Voldemort was very good.
Okay.
Was a very accomplished Legilimens, as was Snape, as was Dumbledore.
Okay.
In the books, Dumbledore wants Harry Potter to learn how to do it so he can close his mind. And Snape is the one that's supposed to be teaching him, and it's a disaster.
That's what I got it. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Okay. Cool.
I mean, it's weird how they played it, because in the books, it's more like a learned trait, not like a natural ability. Where in this movie, they almost kind of made it to play like it was like a natural.
It's like something she didn't have to study.
Right, and which is different. The books always kind of made it out to be like something you had to practice and learn.
But I can see that where she's the type of character where I could be, you know, in the movie they say, like, you know, she wants kind of the simple stuff. You know, her sister is the more ambitious of the two of them. But I think maybe she's the more talented one, having that, you know, power that comes naturally to her. It seems like maybe that's something that could play off as well.
Yeah, I really liked her, though. And I thought it was so cute how she was just immediately taken with him, and, like, how he was obviously, like, completely about her, you know? I thought it was really cute. I thought their relationship was really cute. And I was glad that at the end it looked like they weren't, his obliviation wasn't going to be permanent.
Yeah, and you knew that was probably, you know.
I wish that they wouldn't have obliviated him at all.
I mean, given the fact that they have sequels planned and the fact that it'll be way too sad, you know, if you knew that was the absolute end of the character, no, I don't think that's the last we've seen of him. Definitely not. Okay, moving on. Ezra Miller, the guy.
I really liked him. Yeah. I mean, he was super creepy. He was very good at playing that. Like, I thought he did that role amazingly. And then, I mean, I was super impressed. Like that, I was completely caught off guard by how that turned out in the movie, and like how he ended up. I loved it. Yeah, I loved it.
I mean, Ezra Miller, you know, given the film, the body of work he's got already as an actor, and then adding to this, I feel like, you know, given the fact that it is, again, Warner Brothers, you know, him starring in the Flash movie, I feel like they've got to have more confidence than now.
This just seemed different for him, though, than normal.
But it seems like
he normally plays, like, when I've seen him, kind of more like light, fluffy kind of characters. Exactly. And this was I think a stretch for him.
So, like in The Perks of the Wallflower, he was that kind of zany character. In this one, he was darker. And what was it? We Need to Talk About Kevin. Again, totally different. And that's, again, the kind of actors I really have a lot of confidence in, where, you know, each film role, they play a different side. And, you know, none of the characters seem the same, really. So that, again, to me, he played it great and gave me more confidence for The Flash and his ability to lead a film coming up, especially a superhero film. All right, so moving on to Colin Farrell / Mr. Depp. Yeah. Colin Farrell, I think, did a good job.
I thought he did too. I mean, you could tell right away he was going to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
But this is one thing that one of my issues I have with the film is, okay, so the scene he has in the alley with Ezra Miller, where you see that he's wearing the Deathly Hallows symbol on his necklace. So when I saw that, I thought, oh, he's working with Grindelwald, like he's one of his henchmen,
followers,
or something, right? And so then at the end, though, when after the fight and the battle, and he gets all mad and says he's leaving, and they won't let him go. What I thought was weird is I don't exactly understand what made Newt, after he was already handcuffed, what made him use the spell Revelio on him. Because, like, I don't understand what made him, like, what even prompted that to happen. Yeah. It seemed to me kind of sudden and random.
Well, maybe, you know, Newt has, what I want to say, experience with kind of feeling that out. Or maybe he knew the character, perhaps, even, you know. Like, that's something I thought, too, is now it's like, okay, so he's taking the place of Colin Farrell's character. So where's Colin Farrell's character?
Well, I thought that too, but I don't exactly understand what would have made Newt at that moment, just off the cuff, be like, he might be someone he's not. Revelio. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't find anything in that moment to make me think he might be Grindelwald.
Maybe it's something we didn't catch. We'll go back and watch the movie.
And I was talking about this at work yesterday with one of our doctors, and she thought maybe he did something kind of British. That made him think maybe he's not American. Like, maybe, you know what I mean?
You said the word muggle?
No, I'm just saying, like, maybe even in, like, this was her thought. Maybe when they were dueling, maybe he did something in his duel that made him think that's kind of a British thing to do.
He had more British form than
maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That was just her thought. Because when I mentioned that to her, and she's like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. But maybe he did something that kind of revealed himself to him as being British.
Again, maybe it's one of those things where they're making stuff up just to justify
could be
plot holes. Gee, I wonder who else does that.
Could be.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So yeah, overall, very good. I'm excited to see where they go next. I'm sure you are too as well. But again, just going back, I forgot about that kind of, I think, solidifies Newt's place in this new spin-off franchise, because he was the one that foiled Grindelwald. So now Grindelwald's going to, put him on the list. So I can see Newt and Dumbledore teaming up, and we'll just have to wait and see who they cast as Dumbledore. It's gonna be highly anticipated, I'll tell you that. I can already hear the fanboys raging about that. What? He's not Dumbledore? That's so ridiculous. Blah, 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 blah. That's how it's going to go.
All
right. So, we're running a little over, guys, but we got one more story to go. Sorry, we had to get a little review out. So,
the story's not even important.
Anyway, we'll run over it briefly again, because I like to be thorough, okay? Legendary Pictures and Warner Brothers has released a new trailer for Kong Skull Island, and features a new look, or a really good look, of the mighty beast. The new film is to follow a team of explorers who venture deep inside the treacherous primordial island to find the leader's brother and a mystical serum, confronting extraordinary creatures along the way. The cast is led by Tom Hiddleston. Don't care about that, do you?
No, I didn't say I didn't care about him.
And he's going to be joined by Samuel L. Jackson, Brie Larson, Toby Kebbell, and John Goodman. The film is directed by Jordan Vogt-Roberts, who has promised that the story will honor the foundations of the existing King Kong lore, but place Skull Island in an entirely different, new, distinct timeline. Kong Skull Island opens March 10th, 2017. Obviously, your enthusiasm isn't incredible, but what'd you think about the trailer?
I didn't like the first trailer really at all. Like, it did not make me even remotely interested in this movie. This trailer I liked a little bit better.
Yeah,
I thought Kong looked amazing. But now that I know more what the plot is about, I'm kind of like, it's kind of weird.
It's kind of, to me, it just seems like, bland,
Yeah. I mean, I thought that John C. Reilly was interesting in the trailer. He seemed like just enough little comedy, but I don't know. I don't think that's something. So far, it hasn't made me want to go see it.
I mean, to me, I was looking at this trailer from a perspective of, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to set up the Godzilla versus Kong that's coming up. So that's why they had to make King Kong much bigger than he has been in previous films. And then you see that you have all these creatures as well. That looks like Kong is going to be fighting to, again, give him the good guy perspective. And those, you saw in the Godzilla film, Godzilla was kind of the good monster fighting off the bad monsters to save the people as well. Same thing's going to happen here. Then you have the two of them fight in their own movie. It was all, to me, it's just all just set up for, the big showdown that they really want to do. But overall, yeah, I mean, the film looks interesting. It doesn't look too far, unique compared to other movies I've seen or other King Kong movies I've seen. I'm just curious how the cast is going to fit in. I think Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson are going to be the main humans. Whether they're going to try to play that Beauty and the Beast thing with Brie Larson and Kong, not quite sure. They said they're not. But the trailers say they might try a little of that, perhaps. But we'll just have to wait and see. It looks like, it could be a good time. John C. Reilly's character, entertaining, Like you said, though, it's one of those things where it's like, you don't come into somebody else's house and, start dropping bombs. Because they were talking about how, Kong pretty much stays to himself. But us blasted humans, we come in and start bombing stuff. And that's going to piss Kong off for sure. But it looks like he's got other monsters on there that are going to be pissed off as well. So we'll just have to wait and see. Overall, I thought it looked pretty good. It comes out March 10th. There's something that comes out March 17th. Oh, Beauty and the Beast. That comes out March 17th. So this comes out a week before that. we had a lot of these blockbuster films that are just coming out earlier and earlier. I mean, we had Batman v Superman came out at the end of March. Captain America Winter Soldier came out in April, the year before that. The whole summer blockbuster season, it seems to be just spreading out. Now we have Star Wars and other films in December. I mean, I think the summer blockbuster season is going to start doing a thing of the past with all these big tentpole films kind of getting away from it just to spread out the competition a little bit. But in any event, all right, guys, so that is going to be it for us today. Like I said, we ran a little late, but hopefully you're still with us. So if you want to chime back, hit us up on social media under the Facebook group or on Twitter. You can also hit us up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. And please let us know what do you think. What do you think of the Kong Skull Island trailer, Fantastic Beast, and are you as pissed off as I am about the X-Men taking a backseat to the Inhumans? Let us know.
I don't think that they are.
I don't think that they are, but you never know. I'm passionate. There are other passionate people out there like me. Somebody out there's got to be mad. So just go and hit us up. Let us know what you think. And again, any questions, comments. Also, guys, if you want to go, if you listen to us on iTunes or Podomatic or even YouTube, go ahead and rate, share, tell us what you think, give us some pointers, tell us what you think you're doing right, what we're doing wrong, all that jazz, okay? All right, that's it. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, that's it. So, until next time, guys, may the Force be with us all.